Today, the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California,
is between the Arizona Cardinals
this
going up against
is
San Francisco 49ers
EA Sports.
from San Francisco, California, and at Levi Stadium. This is week 1, game number 12 of the 2021 season. Go up the score and see what we do.
We'll see Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers taking on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room, and they're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Arizona Cardinals. Here's the kicker, Zane Gonzalez, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Santa Clara. Here's Richie James on the return. And he won't quite make it to the 25. James on the return. Former second-round pick back in 2014. Jimmy Garoppolo trying to get a place, looking to guide the San Francisco 49er offense.
There he is, the man known as Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo had a really nice year in 2019. So close to culminating with a Super Bowl title. Accurate with the football, completing nearly 70% of his passes, which was 4th best in the NFL. Nearly 4,000 yards through the air with a team that runs the ball with great efficiency. 27 touchdowns, but in the Super Bowl, didn't quite make the plays they needed down the stretch. But remember, some big wins last year. At New Orleans, at Seattle in Week 17, 2 playoff wins. He's continuing to develop as one of the better ascending players in the league.
Now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Kendrick Bourne, the intended receiver, and second down.
The defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessful.
Back to the air on second. It's Garoppolo. It's Sanu on the catch. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
But that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I'm thinking about the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. The drive keeps moving.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Raheem Mostert averaged 5.6 yards per carry last year. That was second in the NFL. So it's safe to say that it paid off that he patterned his work ethic after his hero Frank Gore, the former 49er. That's a guy who really shows you how to go out and get it done each and every day. Raheem Mostert patterned him and had a breakout season in 2019 with the 49ers.
Garoppolo on first down. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Credit the sack there to Chandler Jones.
When I watch Chandler Jones play for the Arizona Cardinals, I actually get a little bit jealous because he does his job as well as anyone in the league. He's played 64 games for Arizona starting this season, 60 sacks in that time frame. That's just under 1 per game. That type of success rate will not only keep you on the field, but also garner you a lot of honors.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. That is incomplete. He was on time for Devontae Pettis, and it'll bring up third down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they need to come up with something here on third down. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he goes out right around the 39. A gain of 4, not enough. And it looks like play time on their opening drive as it's fourth down. So on fourth down, here's the Australian native Mitch Wisniewski to punt this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounces into the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinals coming out led by Kyler Murray, the offensive rookie of the year a season ago, and back for more here in year number 2.
I still remember being in Indianapolis at the Combine when the result of Kyler Murray's height was announced. And when the tape measure showed him in a little bit above 5'10", all doubts went out the window, and rightly so. The Cardinals were 5'10" and 1 with him last year. But he was the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. This guy can make great plays with his arm, can scoot with his feet, and has motivated this team and has them on a really good upward trajectory.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at the 20. The first carry for Kenyon Drake. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Shotgun now from Murray. It's Williams on the catch. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. 1st down, Cardinals.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy at his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
Warner, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense could go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end, and he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
That was a route run, not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to run.
It gets into the hands of Larry Fitzgerald. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 15 yards that time, and the Cardinals move the chains. 1st down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, you got that dagger play, got that play, just finish it off right now, because I think they'd love to give that big advantage early.
They'll roll him out right. They'll try and run it. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right of the yard.
And there's the beauty of Kyler Murray, because we all know he can get it done through the air. Terrific right arm. And nowadays, we don't even talk about his height anymore. He's shown that he can see downfield and make throws, but he also possesses wide receiver speed. He can call his own number or scramble and turn it into a big play as well. Kyler Murray is a dual threat at the quarterback position.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down. How about to start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive going to play so far. And a tackle there by Quan Alexander.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low. Let's get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. Out of his rhythm, they had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. On first down, Drake. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown run. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Zane Gonzalez on for the extra point. And the Cardinals will go up 7-0. So that was a pretty consuming 10-play drive. And the exclamation mark at the end was Kenyon Drake's touchdown run. Now after touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Now James returning. And makes it across the 20 as these guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Their own 23-yard. The 49er offense going to work again. And this organization back amongst the elites in the NFL following a 13-3 regular season last year. And a good run through the playoffs, of course, it ultimately ended with the loss in Super Bowl 54. But is this a group that caught lightning in a bottle, you think, or are they in it for the long haul, CD?
I say the long haul, and I thought that they were building towards that. Because you remember 2 years ago, they had a disappointing season, but we all thought they would be better, but they were struck by the injury bug. Well, last year, they were able to play through most of that, and they played awfully well. And look, Joe Staley, their starter at that time, retires. They replaced him with Trent Williams, who's at least as good, if not better. So I think this is a team that knows how to retool, knows how to handle things. Now we're just going to answer a few questions. Is Raheem Mostert a true lead back in the backfield? Can Jimmy Garoppolo bounce back from the Super Bowl? And on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they'll continue to get better on that side as well because Nick Bosa hasn't come close to reaching his peak.
Charles, the injuries a little concerning. Debo Samuel with foot injury, and Brandon Ayuk, he's got the hamstring issue.
Yeah, he's the first round pick out of Arizona State. He was supposed to pick up the slack for Debo Samuel while he was out. They're hoping both of them can make it back for opening day.
On first and 10, it's Mostert. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is really pulling around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
On 2nd and 12, Garoppolo. Pressure comes and the Cardinals bring him down. Jordan Phillips, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
How about Jordan Phillips there breaking through for the sack, and that's exactly why Arizona acquired him to anchor their defensive line. Very stout against the run, can take on double teams, but he can also split them, get upfield, and get into the offense's backfield, as we just saw there.
That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. Working from the gun, Garoppolo trying to lay one. He's got him in, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allowed the conversion.
That's an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time condition.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. A play fake for Mostert. Now Garoppolo. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Chandler Jones able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, not a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Garoppolo looks to throw. His throw incomplete. George Kittle, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Completes it to tight end Kittle. And it'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes and a half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now. After reviewing the play, partner hit less than 2 minutes ago in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellows in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
George Kittle is easily one of the elite tight ends in the NFL. Back-to-back seasons of 88 and 85 catches. We just saw another one right there. Anytime he lines up on the field, you better treat him as a primary receiver and make sure you have a second guy in the vicinity to try and cover him.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. Loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though.
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. That kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, finish it off.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And it's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. That's 9. He'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough cover.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Garoppolo looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Now they're staring at 4th down as Arizona's defense does its job. So 2 third-down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down. So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And in his 15th season, he's able to get this one to go. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-point drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they got 13 points and give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy there at the 24. Well, the Cardinals getting set to go here. You know, a lot of folks this time of the year, Charles, they like to look around the NFL landscape, try to identify that sleeper team to make that next step. And there's a lot of people who are landing on the Arizona Cardinals to be in that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're the sleeper team anymore. To me, they are woke, right? Everybody's talking about them. So they've got to go out and play it out level now. They have a chance because I thought they got better last year. I didn't care what the record was. But the rookie Kyler Murray at quarterback, he spent this entire offseason reshaping his body and getting better. He's got to go to DeAndre Hopkins, who they acquired from Houston. Larry Fitzgerald, the old pro, is still around. And Kenyon Drake, they acquired him last year from Miami. Boy, did he run the football well. But if they're going to really, truly contend in the NFC West, they got to get better on defense. That means they've got to complement what Chandler Jones brings off the edge. And they start by drafting Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson.
And Buda Baker on that defense, now the highest paid safety in the NFL with a contract that he signed back on August 24th. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, and here's Murray. And he hits Drake. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Murray now on 1st down. He's going to take off with him. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally brought down at the 31-yard line. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem scrambling for 22 in the first.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him. And he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. For the right hashers from an even 40 yards out. Gonzalez's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. It was a terrific first half from the former number 1 overall pick, Kyler Murray. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Cotton and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Cards with the lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. On the return, Andy Isabella. And they will wrangle him down a couple of yards shy of the 30.
The Cardinals take over first and 10.
So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies and try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. He starts by handing this off to Drake. 2 yards to loss, 2nd and 12.
But we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half. And that trend is continuing here.
At the 26-yard line.
For the opening play, the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, Murray on the slant, complete to Hopkins. They wind up getting Tim back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And DeAndre Hopkins with another catch. And let's face it, when Arizona made this trade, there had to be no one happier than quarterback Kyler Murray, who had been pushing his management to draft his college teammate C.D. Lamb out of Oklahoma. They made a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. They didn't need to do that anymore. This guy's an all-pro receiver. Been the top 3 receptions the last 2 seasons. And now with Larry Fitzgerald already there, and you add DeAndre Hopkins, the possibilities are endless for the Arizona Cardinals in the passing game.
It goes as a game of 6, and it's a 1st down.
Well, there's someone who's running the football with a big smile on his face. That's Kenyon Drake. Because you remember last year he was in Miami, wasn't getting many carries, not a lot of success, but in mid-season ended up in Arizona and became a huge weapon for the Cardinals. 8 touchdowns the second half of the season, utilized really well. Big-time skilled player who can run it and catch it out of the backfield. He has finally found a home and a place for his talents.
Now on 1st down, Drake again. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And you got to feel fortunate about that. If they can actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Murray sliding out of the pocket. They'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in a proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold it for a short game when it took off running.
On 3rd and short, Drake. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards to pick up. Good enough for an Arizona first.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And now Murray's going to set up the throw. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would really help there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Second and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara. To throw again. Murray. He'll buy some time right. He's going to roll. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain. 0 turnovers in this game so far. The trend continues, but barely. Offense lucky that one went out of bounds.
Yeah, they're very fortunate because when a game's going along like this one and neither side has turned the ball over, sometimes that first one can really flip things to their advantage in this type of a game.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Murray rolling to his right. Murray has him knocked loose, fumble, and the Cardinals are in. Touchdown. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Gonzalez now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. It was a pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it was finished off by the 14-yard touchdown run.
Let's go, Carson. Let's go, Carson. Let's freaking go. Okay, so that's all. All the guys go. Let's go, fellas. Let's get a freaking high roller style tournament. Players around 2 points. Semi-funny. Great start.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And we'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble, bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense heading back on the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the right flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming, and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
And he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try to get back to where you were to start the half.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Garoppolo. Looking to complete it to Pettis, and he's got him. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, taking short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 for the Niners there, the first down.
Down at the 49-yard line.
Before they can snap, the time runs out. By this 3rd quarter of play, you are watching the NFL on EA Sports. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. There's Garoppolo to throw. And he finds the tight end, Reed. A gain of 6 there on first. You got the big lead defensively. You want to get in that underneath stuff, right?
This is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and lead the game out that way.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Garoppolo. That's complete to his receiver, Pettis. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 31-yard line. 12 yards there and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but always so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And this one complete to Reed. A good pickup there. 8 yards in the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play in there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for yards. And yet again, it's Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Garoppolo looks to throw once more. He's got two. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11. And a 2-score game. Obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get the 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. Cap to inbounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play. He did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
So, second.
All defense is worried that whenever anyone catches the ball, has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles where he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
From the 7, it's 2nd and 5. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4 down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
So offensively on this drive, 2 of 2 on 3rd downs, and now they face a 3rd and inches. And across the chalk, into the end zone, it's a 4-yard touchdown. From 40 yards out, and the 49ers are back within a score. And it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach saying the offensive coordinator, you got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, they had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
And he's able to put it through. So that would have an 11-play drive. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. It's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. We'll throw from the gun. Going to get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I've seen where the coverage was good downfield, and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure that where he was, they decided to take off and go.
And he's going to have to protect them and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Forced out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Here's Andy Lee now, as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Niners will go on offense. First and 10. Garoppolo and the Niners now. Trailing 17-10. A minute 47 on the clock. Needing to go pretty much the length of the football field as they have it first and 10. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, give it 14.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
They're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Now we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. 10. Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first lead, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. He's back to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
This is what brain remembers. When I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Garoppolo. But able to haul it in at his kennel. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Now Garoppolo. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Byron Murphy. And a turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Down 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. Down to a knee. Here's the Cardinals look to let the clock roll. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now third low. Down to a knee goes Murray, as that will just about wrap this thing up.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they can pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
So it's a win here for the Arizona Cardinals. And I know I'm not breaking any news when I say that any road win in this league is a good one.
No doubt.
Yeah, but it's a double bonus when you get a victory on the road in your division.
And when you start a season, each team breaks down their schedule in different ways. Some do it every 4 games, right? Let's go quarterly. Others say, listen, we've got to take care of our home field. And, out of a 16-game season, if you get 8 at home, let's at least win 7 at home and split our road games. That's what you're trying to get done. So you're exactly right. A road win, precious, especially within the division.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaunt. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.
Right. The Arizona Cardinals are winners 17 to 10 over the 49ers. Got on the street. Maybe later, probably soon, I will be doing week 3 NFL picks. So, yeah, we'll see you later.